Pavitra Shankar, MD at Brigade Enterprises, with us on the show to talk a little bit more about the growth outlook as well as the drivers down the line. Thanks much for taking time out. To begin with those pre-sales, 996 crores, despite the fact that Q1 seasonally weak. Do you think that in the coming quarters we can see better momentum given that you had spoken about 5,000 crores of pre-sale achievable in FY24?
Actually, we had not really given a guidance on FY24, but for sure, yeah, we had a very good year last year. We were hoping for better Q1 sales, but it has done pretty well considering that some of our launches got pushed into Q2. And I think there is some dependency for sure on launches. At least 60% weightage of our numbers will come from new launches. That's the kind of market that we're in today. And in Karnataka, we've had a change of government, and that has led to some kind of delays in approvals. And we're hoping that this will get resolved soon. And basically, all of our projects will be able to launch on time. So while we're very, very confident about the residential market, there is a dependency on the launches coming through. But once they're in, I'm very confident that they will do really well.
Okay. What seems to be the challenge in the Karnataka market? I mean, is it like routine clearances which have got stuck, or this could have impact on FY24 earnings?
It's sort of routine. I mean, the government, we had an election, there's been a change in government, different party entirely. So, of course, there's a lot of officers change at various levels. So I think that will just take time for it to settle down and basically flow through in terms of approvals.
Just a coincidence that we had Mr. Razak just before you joined us, and he was of the view that the real estate cycle for next 2 or 3 years is in a sweet spot. Now, let's first hear your views on that. And while you share your views, if we also add up, do you think top line as well as pricing power, the both will remain robust, or it is only the demand which will remain robust and prices are unlikely to go higher?
So I would agree that we have a very favorable outlook for the residential sector as well, not just Prestige and Brigade, but there are multiple developers who feel the same way. I think it's structural and quite long overdue. So I think over the next couple of years, for sure, we can remain confident. Of course, barring something major happening, one always has to qualify. In our portfolio, we've seen robust movement in demand and therefore inventory, but also pricing. So I think the growth will continue with pricing as well. Home loan rates have stabilized around 8.4, 8.5%. And, this is the thing, like once the cycle takes off, you really start to see demand continue to, support itself over the quarters as we've seen it. So we are very confident that not only will the demand continue for inventory, but also we'll be able to continue pricing power. Of course, we have to make sure that that stays in line with what customer expectations are. But what we've seen is typically taking small pricing increases over over shorter periods of time has really been helping us push the realization.
Correlation between IT demand, startup demand, and what happens to Bangalore real estate? Because sitting in Mumbai, every time we think that okay, Bangalore is IT, and if IT sector goes thanda, then demand will also become thanda. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. I think we have to expand our definition and maybe understanding of what is the IT sector. Like it's sort of caught on to so many different businesses. All businesses are looking at digitization. All businesses are looking at, AI and using their data. And there are so many different avenues in which IT, quote unquote, is being used in, just running a business today, that I don't think it's just about some of the major IT companies and whether they're hiring or not. So across the board, people are using technology more, and that results in the demand for this kind of talent. And Bangalore and also other cities that are driven by this kind of talent and have a critical mass in terms of how much talent they have are not going to be as affected. And I think going forward, that's kind of how, human resources in general is going to go. Like everybody's upskilling towards using more technology, and that results in them being more competitive in their salaries and so on, and having pricing, having the power to consume. So from that perspective, I would say we should expand our definition as to what IT sector really means.
What impact do you think inflation has played in terms of understanding your margins?
So in terms of pricing, for sure, the inflation has come into that as well. We are able to price a little bit better. On the supply side and cost side, things have stabilized a little bit, while it is still significantly higher than, say, 2020 or 21. We still do see some cost pressures down the road due to inflation. But overall, I think it has not really impacted the ability to sell or to drive pricing either. And in some ways, the more inflation there is, of course, with some limits, appreciation in real estate tends to be higher. That's kind of what we've seen over the past few cycles.
Right. Okay, Pavitra, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time and speaking with us today.
Thank you.